to be able to use those savings to reinvest in our businesses as well. In the area of contracts with federal, state, and local government agencies, we repeat and applaud the earlier recommendations.
From the NAACP to other small businesses. He's a brainiac, but he's a creative one, and we are happy to have him. But let me tell you this one little fact that is true. He's most proud of being not only a husband, but a father. He's a father of 12 children. 12 children. But guess what? 9 of the children he adopted. So please, you can do better than that. Let's welcome Dr. Tim Childs.
I want to thank the representative, Bobby Champion, for that nice introduction. I've seen that guy. I'm glad to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity. I also appreciate Governor Dayton coming out, listen and hear us. It's really a gem. I've been in the state of Minnesota for some time, over 20 years. This is the first I've heard of this. And so I was glad when I got the call, glad to come, and so much needed. And I also want to thank all the others, congressmen and so forth within the House, the mayor, Ryback, and others. As they say in church, the House has been addressed. I want to share with you a little bit about our organization, TLC. I'm going to go fairly quickly through the history to give you a background, to get to the main point at the end, where we are committed to jobs and education, because one involves the other. So, a little outline, I'm going to be talking a little bit about TLC Precision Wafer. We also have started a foundation, TLC Education Foundation. And so then I want to quickly address issues, Minnesota high-tech small companies, Minnesota recommendations and benefits. And we're going along the same line as Ms. Leah Hart did. You might find that my presentation relates to hers. She had no idea what I was going to say. I had no idea what she was going to say. I was amazed what she said was complementary to what I'm trying to get across. For the next slide, just a little bit about TLC. We are entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur, and I came to Minnesota, Minneapolis on purpose. I came from California, Stanford University, and I purposely came to Minneapolis by way of Honeywell. Actually, I'm looking at this slide, and I hired an intern, and which I like working with youth and with students. Go to the next slide. We can talk a lot about that. At TLC, we develop next generation chips for satellite communications, automotive radars, and rocket ships, point-to-point communications, and so forth. So we actually start, we create from even the wafer, engineer the molecules, we actually design the chips and manufacturing, and then making the radars and so forth. Let me do all this right here in North Minneapolis. That's a bigger picture of some of the things that we've done. Go to the next one. A little history of us. We started back in 1991. That's it. That independent spinoff from Honeywell. We then transitioned to Minneapolis. We built a clean room. We did technology transfer from Honeywell, from Lockheed Martin out of Florida. We got Honeywell to invest a little bit. And then we started building our manufacturing operations and building partnerships as we moved to volume production. Next slide. In addition to TLC, we've seen the need of our students. As y'all know, we have the largest, one of the largest educational gaps in the country. And so we did a grassroots with the community in North Minneapolis to start a foundation where we focus on helping students to prepare and attend college. We provide scholarships, we provide tutoring service, summer enrichment programs, SAT, even college touring and so forth. Next slide. These are some of the partners that we have and we work with throughout the state and so forth. MIT, Stanford, but also North Central University, University of Minnesota, and so forth. Florida A&M, my alma mater. I played football. And beat University of Miami. I didn't tell you about that, did I? But we learned to be champions. Next slide. Now, for small business, as Leah had mentioned, access to capital is a major problem. To give you a case in point, I was alternate to Kim Nelson, who was on the Obama campaign and for the state. We were getting ready to go, and I wanted to go with her to Colorado for the national convention. But I had to go down to Rochester to get get elected. On that day, I had a customer coming, so I couldn't go. And the customer came, and on that day we signed the contract. Signed the contract for $1.8 billion. That was because the government in China found that we had the best material for making solar cells, one of the best material making solar cells in the world. And so they signed the contract with us. And that was even our main technology. Our main technology is in chips. And so for chips, we actually export to various countries such as Japan, such as Taiwan, such as Israel, Korea, and so forth. And so we work with partners, the University of Minnesota, and so forth. But now, when it's time to ramp up, when we run into problems, we can access the capital. We needed a minimum of $10 million to get started. And so I worked with my team to get the technical aspects going. And I hired some brokers from downtown to get the investment going. I remember one investor they brought in, and I was excited, they're ready to sign. They were going to pay $25 million to get us started. On the next day, they were on the front page of the Tribune. Tom Peters. So you can understand my disappointment. And so then we had to look at other places to try to find capital. Going to California, going to Florida, and so forth. It became a hardship in finding the capital until we pulled from one end, from our technical, because we have to put so much effort in trying to find capital. Access to capital is an issue. I have other entrepreneurs who come to me. I remember one particular case, and I actually paid for his patent. He had a patent that helped special generator. All you can use is a generator, you can rebuild houses and buildings and so forth. So I paid for the patent. He was trying to get capital. He couldn't get capital in Minnesota. The state of Louisiana built him a manufacturing company. The state of Michigan built him a manufacturing company. So we have two manufacturing companies going based on the technology he had developed. And so I released the patent, but I don't want to hold on to it. And he's doing well. And he invited me, they said, Tim, come on over with me. But Minnesota is not helping out the entrepreneurs. However, I'm committed to Minnesota. Minnesota is a good place, and I love Minnesota.